Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me for a layout for Kitaholic Kits using the September kit. And oh, it's a goodie. It is chock full of Cocoa Vanilla These Days collection. Oh my goodness, I love this collection so much. We have an awesome mixed media kit as well this month, which is Dina Wakley gloss sprays in the colours of mineral, which is the blue, and aloe, which is the green, and also apricot, which is apricot. Beautifully matches the patterned paper and the whole collection. We have a range of the patterned paper. Oh, look at that ombre paper. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to cut into that. I will see how I go. I love that rainbow stripe, the florals, and that wood grain. Oh my goodness. How good. We also got the flower paper, the platen flower paper as well, which was perfect for fussy cutting, which I've already done, as you can see there on the left-hand side. And I've also fussy cut out the butterflies from the butterfly pattern paper as well. I mean, of course, I was always going to do that. I can't even imagine not fussy cutting out those flowers and those butterflies as soon as I saw them. So my first layout for this month is I'm going to focus on using the wood grain paper. I mean, look, Cocoa Vanilla just hits it out of the park every time they do a wood grain paper. Zoe does the most amazing job, and I love that Steph makes sure she includes these in the kits when we get Cocoa Vanilla. So the photo that I'm using today is a photo of my mum. I think she's about 17 in this photo. I really probably should have checked that before I started my video, but I can't remember. It's been a photo that's been a favourite of mine ever since I was little. So today I decided I am going to do a bit of a half and half type page. So I've cut down the wood grain paper and decided that I'd put a slit down the middle and turn this into I don't know, it feels like it's a shirt, a zipper or something like that. And I've distressed the edges quite heavily as well. You'll see in a moment. So I do know that I'm going to use the mixed media as well for this one. And I'm just deciding that I really think I need a little bit more colour on the page in that pattern paper again, just to give it a little bit more colour. So I flipped through and I decided against that stripe one because I've got another idea in my mind. And I thought, no, don't use that yet. And yeah, definitely not using that ombre paper because that's just, I think that might break me. If I use that, I think it just needs to be on my wall. So I decided to go with the corally type apricot paper that's got the tone-on-tone hearts, which is such a lovely, sweet piece patterned paper. And I just wanted to give that extra layer there to sit inside of that. If you can see me fussing there, it's because I wanted to be able to see the apricot or the coral section, and I was like, how can I make that? I keep folding it and it doesn't look like that. And obviously I needed to turn it upside down. I didn't even know what I was thinking when I was doing that. So I heavily distressed this one as well and pop that in. What I also do there is I don't stick those bits down. So it gives a little bit of texture and dimension to the page. So I don't put any if you know what I mean, underneath the teared sections. I don't actually stick those down. So it gives a really great bit of dimension to the page once it's all put down. So like I said, I knew I wanted to do mixed media, and I do actually just go for a subtle type mixed media for this one, and using the simple and easy, anybody can do. I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it. The packaging technique. So the packaging technique I just used, I think I grabbed the plastic from a couple of pieces of the ephemera packs and just sprayed a little bit on the packaging. And I didn't add, often when I do the packaging technique, I often add a little bit of water to the page or I add water to the packaging, but I didn't do that for this one. I don't really like the gloss sprays with water added to them. I think it gives it a really weird look, but that's certainly a personal preference. Doesn't mean you can't put water in them, but with the acrylic paint, I don't know what it is. I just don't like the final look. And you do need to remember that this is acrylic paint, so if you use a heat gun on it, it may bubble. So I would recommend that you get this to dry naturally if you can. Excuse me if you can hear my whinging dog in the background. She really wants to go outside and it's too cold today. I haven't opened the door and I can't while I'm recording. So I put some subtle I guess it was trying to be a little bit subtle about it. I didn't want to, I mean, these colors aren't dark anyway. They don't have a lot of, and they're not all that bright. So it gave that real subtle look on the page. So I started with the blue and just added some layers around with the green and then the apricot. I brought my paper back, my pattern paper back, to see whether I'd gone wide enough, because I wanted to give the top of the page a relatively heavy, I guess, mixed media, but I did want to leave some white space because it would have just been too much if I didn't. So I did go out to the sides a little bit, but have left some white space around that entire piece as well. Then I come back in once that was dry and added some splatters. Now I did the tone on tone splatters, used exactly the same gloss sprays, but the apricot on the apricot, the blue on the blue, and the green on the green. That was just me going in there with a wet wipe. I had accidentally splattered a blue and some green onto the wrong colors there as I was moving forward with those splatters. So I really love adding splatters to the page. It gives that added extra bit of interest, and I feel like it gives some dimension to the page as well. So with the photo, I've decided that I'm going to sit it within the area where the tears are in the middle, and to make sure that sits properly on the page, I do place some foam, just some craft foam under the photo. I also backed it just with some tissue paper from my stash. I really love doing that type of back, particularly when I've got a busy background or some busy patterned paper. It gives a break from the patterned paper, but it gives a softer touch as well. So I really wanted to add that softish type look on the page. So then I'm adding a butterfly explosion. Instead of a flower explosion, it's a butterfly explosion. So I've done tone on tone with this as well. So the apricot with the apricot or the corally colors, and the blues and the greens. But you'll see there I've added in just a few yellow butterflies as well to tie back to the dress that Mum's wearing in the photo. I just wanted to give that. I just think when I looked at it without them, and then I realized there was no yellow anywhere else, I thought, I need to tie in some of the photo with that as well. And I think it gives a little bit of a light approach to that as well. So added the yellow. And what I've done when I glue down those butterflies as well is I've only placed glue in the centers because I wanted to feel like they're fluttering across the page. So once everything's dry, I mean, they're a little bit flooded already, but once everything is dry, I can then lift up the wings and they look like they're flying. Well, in my mind, they look like they're flying. So I didn't bore you with all the sticking down there. Now, what I also decided to do for this one was, because the butterflies were that was quite a busy layout at the very top of the page, I made a really simple and nothing huge at the bottom in terms of ephemera. So I placed the captured little tag on the left-hand side of the photo, and that's really what I decided to name this layout as well. I didn't want to have a really big title or anything like that, so I decided not to use the letters for this layout. I added a couple of banners and I add some hearts, and that's all I do in terms of any extra ephemera on the page. I just felt it was going to be too heavy if I made the bottom of that page really full with embellishments or even journaling, which we all know I don't do a lot of journaling on the front sides of pages anyway. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I have got some close-ups coming up and the final layout. I hope you have a chance to hop onto the store or hop onto the Kitaholic Kits community group as well. And don't forget, if you're a subby, you also get exclusives every month through our Facebook group. So I thoroughly recommend that you hop on to the store and subscribe. You won't be disappointed. The kits are always chock full of goodies every month. And again, thank you so much for joining me. I would love it if you hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy your scrappy week, and I will see you next time. Bye.